Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we will look at the manual reissue with an additional collection, meaning there is a fare difference and or a tax difference. So we will have to collect that. We have a flight booked, a return flight from Frankfurt to Lisbon and back with Lufthansa in economy, and our customer now wants to upgrade into business class. So we keep the same flights, but we want to fly business class. First of all, what we have to do is to check the fare rules, if such a change is even allowed. And if it's allowed, what are the conditions? So we start by typing FQD, the city pair, Frankfurt to Lisbon, / D for date 15 December, that's our departure date. A for Lufthansa, the airline Lufthansa. Booked class is K class. Ticket is issued on the 1st November, and we can also sort it by fare families. Let's split our screen and check our ticket that we have booked, and we can see that fare rates is here, and we find that on line number 2 in our fare quote display. So we type FQN to look at the fare quote notes, and PE to look at the penalty section. And it starts with the cancellation chapter, which is irrelevant for us. So we scroll down until we come to the change section. We see here that changes are always permitted. That means there is no penalty fee for the exchange. Another thing, because we want now to upgrade the ticket to business class, this section here becomes very relevant because it tells us what we are actually allowed to change with. And here we see J and C class. So we are allowed to use J and C class if we want to change to business class. Because Lufthansa has more booking codes for business class, P is the lowest, but J is the highest, and then comes C. So we are not allowed to use P, but we are allowed to use J and C. And so in this case, we would use the C class because that's most likely less expensive than the J class, which is the highest one. And what is also relevant is what kind of fares do we need to apply? Do we need to apply historical fares, also from the day of the ticket issue, or today's fares? And we want to change both the inbound and the outbound, so both coupons. We have to look at this one. If changes are made to the first ticketed flight coupon of a totally unused ticket, fares in effect at the time of rebooking will apply. Meaning we use today's fares, so we don't have to look at the historical fares. All right. Now that we have that information we need, we retrieve our booking again. And the first thing we do is we delete our TST. TTE is the command to delete it. So, and now we don't need to make an availability search and pick the new flights. What we can do, since the customer wants to use the same flights, we can type SB, C, segment 2 and 3. This will change the booking code here to C. And that happened now, and you can see that we also get the message that revalidation or reissue is recommended. So, the next thing we will do is that we price the itinerary again now, as it is booked. In order to do so, we type FXP / and we can also specify the fare family business, because that's the one we want. And remember that it's crucial to know the names of the fare families before you're doing that. In this case now, the name of the fare family that we want is the one that's called business. So we reprice our itinerary with the FXP command. And FXP, as you know, creates a new TST directly, which we can look at here now. So this is our new TST. And we compare that now to our old ticket in order to calculate the fare and tax difference, if any. So from the fare, we can directly see that the new fare is of course much higher than the old one, because we upgraded now to business class. So the new fare is 1,318 euro, and the old fare is 304 euro. So now we take 1,318 minus 304, and so the fare diff is 1,014 euro. This is our fare diff, okay? For the taxes, so here on our new TST, all the taxes are listed individually, but not here. So what we can do here now is that we can type twd/taxes, and we will get the same picture in our old ticket. Now we can compare here, and we see directly that the first tax is 96, which the YQ tax. So since it's business class, you pay more of this tax here than in the economy class. Here it's only 10 euro, and here's 96 euro. And when we look at all the other taxes, here's 1750, 1750, 10, 10, 1553, 1553, 32 and 45, 32 and 45, 2 euro, 2 euro, 356, and 1705. Means the only different tax here is the YQ tax, which is higher than in the old booking, in the old ticket, excuse me. So 96 euro minus 10 euro is 86 euro. Okay? And remember all this here, that tax, the fare diff, the best thing is if you write that down somewhere, on paper, on sticky notes, whatever fits you best, so you remember these things. And you need to also to know which tax is it that is different. In this case, it's the YQ tax. Okay, now we know our tax fare diff, and we know our tax diff. So the next thing we need to do is now to set our TST for reissue. We do that by typing ttk/exchange. And as you see now, the total has been set to 0, and it's now a reissue. We have the new fare here, and we have all the taxes here. And you see that these are all now have the letter O, which means old taxes. So what we need to do now is we need to check if everything is here for the reissue. We have our fare basis, that's good, but we need a non-valid after. Non-valid after, what you can use is the day of departure here. So we type TTI VXX, because we don't need to type non-valid, not valid before, we can just leave that. So we type FX, we type XX, and then we can type 15 December. And now we have the non-valid after here. So now comes the tricky part. Now we need to tell Lufthansa how much they have to collect for the new ticket. And here's important that we specify the tax and the total. So what we do here is we write TTI/. We start up here. R, specify that's a reissue. So the TST must be a reissue, right? Not a first issue. So we type R for reissue. Directly after we type euro, the currency, and 1318. That's our new fare. So we don't type 1014 because that's our fare difference, but we need the fare itself. Then we type /, and now we need to specify the additional tax collection. And remember, it was 86 euro, and it's directly here. It's type 96. So this was the new tax basically. It was 10 euro before, now it's 96. This is a difference of 86 euro. And you see here that all the taxes are O, which means old, but we need to specify it as a new tax. That's why we type X. X stands for new tax. So directly the currency after and 86. This is our new tax that we need to collect, our additional collection. Not the new tax itself, but the additional collection. And we also specify what tax it is. It's the YQ tax. And then we type the total. And remember that the fair diff was 1014 plus the new tax 86. That makes 1,100 euro. So this is our additional collection. If we now hit enter, you see that everything is now here. We have our fare for this itinerary, which is still 1,318, like it was from the beginning, but it's specified as a reissue here. And we have our additional tax collection from 86, and it's a YQ tax, and the total is 1,100 euro. So now we are done with our TST. So what we can do now is we can save, and now we have another couple of steps left. We have to add the FO element. So you see that your old ticket number here is on line number 7. So we type FO star line number 7. And then you get this line here, and you just hit enter again. Now we have the old ticket number here. And the next thing now we need to do is that we need to change the form of payment. Why? Because we have an additional collection and we need to tell Amadeus that the form of payment must be used for the additional collection. So what I do is that I delete the form of payment line. You can also update it, but I prefer it that way so I can build up my comment from the beginning again. I type FP and O for old or original form of payment slash non-ref plus. This is important because we have an additional collection, means we need to specify that by typing the plus. Then slash and non-ref again. If you look at your TST, you can also see that this is reflected here, as well as the old ticket number. So now, let's see if we can make our reissue from our TST that we manually modified now. So it's TST number 2 now. So we type TTP slash T2 for the TST number 2 and retrieve our booking again. And we get our OK e-ticket. So now we manually reissued the ticket and our client has now his flights in business class instead. Let's have a look at our new ticket. You can see it's now here on line number 7 with our additional collection here. And here we have it. And you can see it's our reissue ticket here. I hope you liked the video and have a good one and see you next time. Bye bye.